and there's nothing better than having some family around you while having dinner. But you're not here for dinner, you're here to see me get the platinum trophy for Resident Evil 7. There will also be spoilers in this video, and I am getting a bit ahead of myself, so let's start at the very start of this game with our main protagonist, Ethan. And with Ethan comes the very first trophy I got, called She's Alive. And this trophy was got for traveling all the way to Louisiana so Ethan can find his wife. And not long after leaving the car, I acquired the next trophy, Aha, which was for investigating an object further. And you get this for picking up one item and finding another item inside it and pressing X to examine it. Once we enter a house uninvited, we find what I can only describe as a magic videotape. And I say they're magic because we don't have to watch this, we have to play as the person in the video. But in this video, I did manage to obtain another trophy called Master of Unlocking. And these videotapes are magic because that drawer was locked before I watched this. But back to how I acquired the trophy, and I did this by using a lockpick on a locked object to open it. And the item I picked up in that unlocked drawer was actually very important. It's called an antique coin, and it's the currency for this game. And then we finally meet Ethan's wife, Mia, who decides to give us a tour of the house she's been staying in. She decides to do a Houdini and we go on the look for her. We eventually find her doing the animal crawl up the stairs towards us, and let's just say she has seen better days. I don't think she appreciated that crack about her appearance, and we got into a fight with her, and things got a bit heated to say the least. I then got a mysterious phone call from a person called Zoe, who I also think is magic because she unlocked the door without even being near it. But then came my next trophy, Welcome to the Family, Son. And I got this trophy for finally being introduced to the owner of this property, Jack Baker, who gives us a nice warm welcome. And now you guys are all caught up to the part of where we're having a lovely family dinner. And once that dinner is concluded, I gained another trophy called He's Here, There, Everywhere. And I got this trophy for destroying a statue called Mr. Everywhere. And he really stands by that name because he is everywhere throughout this game. I find it so funny that he cannot rip this red tape off this box with his fingers. He needs a knife. How strong is that tape? Jack then tries to show me how to drive, but to be honest, I don't think he's the greatest example himself. Once the lessons were over with Jack, we find a videotape that actually gives us a good look at his wife, Mrs. Baker. I then run into Jack in probably one of the worst places you could ever bump into him, the bathroom. But I did gain a trophy called Behind Closed Doors, which I got for closing the door behind me, which just so happened to slow Jack down. I then acquired my next trophy, Nice Try. And the only way you can get this trophy is by using a different object than intended for the shadow puzzle.
Who builds this shit?
Ethan asks a very good question here, but there is a time and a place, and this is not it. I then came across what happens to be the most annoying enemy in this game, the goo monsters. Don't you just hate it when someone interrupts you during a nap? No wonder them goo monsters are so cranky. Soon after that though, I did gain another trophy called Open Your Eyes. And how I gained this trophy was by finding and taking random drugs in the bakers that revealed all items to me for a short period of time. We once again run into the man himself, Jack, and this is where both of us agree to be like gentlemen and fight with chainsaws. And a happy coincidence, during this fight I did manage to acquire another trophy, and it was called Duck If You Love Life. And I got this trophy for ducking out of the way of Jack's attacks with his chainsaw. I can't tell if the granny in this house is here to help or here to hinder us. Either way, I'm watching you, granny. But on to the next trophy that I can buy, and it was called You Ain't Getting Away. And how I can buy this trophy was by finding 3 of the most unusual keys to unlock a door to get out of the house. I then moved on to Margarite's part of the house and bagged another trophy while entering her place, and it was called Things Got Personal. And how I got this trophy is by finishing off an enemy using a knife. I used it on the bugs because they were the easiest to do it on. And that is not the only trophy that I managed to earn while in Margarite's part of the house. I also earned In the Bag. And how I earned this trophy was by picking up a backpack which increased my inventory size. I then randomly find Mia wandering around the house just as I am until she gets kidnapped. Again, while I was squaring off against Margarite, I did earn myself another trophy called Less Is More. And how I earned this trophy was by taking down 2 enemies at the same time with one shot. The bugs are probably the easiest way to get this trophy. I did earn one last trophy from Margarite, and it was called The Grave Will Out the Truth. And I earned this trophy for having a massive boss fight with Margarite herself in her true form. While moving on with the story, I found out that I would not like to trick or treat at Ethan's house under any circumstances. With Jack and Margarite finally dealt with, we move on to the final evil baker, Lucas. us. Now, he doesn't face us head to head. He actually gives us a bunch of tasks to do. And one of those tasks that he gave us to complete was defeat the fat molded. And I'm not fat shaming him, I'm just calling him by his actual name. And then I finally came face to face with the normal baker of the family, who gives us 2 miracle drugs to cure people. Soon after meeting her, I do gain another trophy called You Better Start Running. And how you gain this trophy is by having your final showdown with Jack in his gooeyest form. And a strange turn of events happens where we actually take over as Mia and we have to go rescue Ethan. And this is where we meet the evilest little girl you will ever come across, Evie. She is also the cause of all the problems going on around here. But on to the next trophy I managed to earn, and it was called Be Kind, Please Rewind. And how I got this trophy was by watching all 4 videotapes that I found throughout the game. The final videotape actually reveals that Mia knew Evie all along and was lying to us. Once the video was done, we went looking for Ethan and I found my next trophy, Pelicans in Your Pocket. And I got this trophy for finding all antique coins throughout the game. Once Mia finds Ethan, we take control of him once again and claim another trophy, Into the Depths. And I gained this trophy for finding out what actually happened to the bakers and leaving the ship as Ethan. Moving on to the next trophy I got, and it was The Devil is in the Details. And what I had to do to acquire this trophy was find and read all the documents throughout this game. And probably one of the most annoying battles in this game is what I come across next, where I have to fight 2 fat molded, and they're annoying because they just puke everywhere. It's like a bad party. I then went on and gained my next trophy called Mr. Nowhere, and this was for shooting all the Mr. Nowheres throughout the game. It was a long time coming, and this is where I got a couple of trophies in the game. The first one was Playing It Safe, and that was for completing the game on easy mode. The next trophy was The Nightmare's Finally Over, which was for completing the game on normal difficulty. And one other trophy I got by the end of this game was End of the Night, which is getting ending 1 of the game, which means you chose Mia. And it turns out that the main bad guy of this game was actually the granny. But you know, some grannies bake cookies and some take over families. It's just how it is. And just before the credits roll at the end of the game, we actually get to meet Leon S. Kennedy, the guy from the first game. And now I have to play through this game another time doing the speedrun and earning any trophies along the way that I can. And I'm going to start with this trophy, ////. Isn't that trophy name fun to say? But how you get it is by using your knife to get rid of spiders off a cabinet or a door. And speaking of getting rid of, this next trophy involves that, and it's called Back Off Mrs. B. And how you get this trophy is by annoying Margarite, shooting her in the face a couple of times to make her run off and knock you down. I wonder were these things here before Evie got there, or did she put them in herself? I don't know what type of shite Margarite's trying to come out with there saying she's a girl. She's no more a girl now than I am. I really would love to know who's been telling her lies. Not much else happened throughout that speedrun, so here we are quickly taking out the granny once again. And then the trophy unlocked, Just Get Me Out of Here. And like I said, I got this trophy for speedrunning the game and completing it in under 4 hours. While I was at it, I decided to get 2 other trophies as well, starting with Resource Manager. And how you get this trophy is not opening that chest more than 3 times throughout the whole game. And the other trophy I decided to get was Walk It Off. And how I acquired this trophy was by not healing more than 3 times throughout the entire game. And for the last trophy I got on the speedrun, it was called Just a Memory Now. And this is for getting the second ending of the game, which means you chose Zoe. And now I have to go through this game for the final time on the hardest difficulty, Madhouse. A lot of things change in this difficulty, but some things remain the same, like Jack thinking he can drive, but he can't. Something that does change though is there's a lot more antique coins, which means there's a lot more stuff to buy. But let's get on with the trophies I still need to collect, starting with this one, Can't Catch Me. And what I did to acquire this trophy was avoid Margarite seeing Mia on the videotape as we play as her. And as we continued on in Margarite's part of the house, I got another trophy, Arms in the Air. And how I got this trophy was quite simple. I used a block when an enemy attacked me. I don't know why it took me so long to get this trophy, and I'm back again fighting the pain in the arse that is Margarite's final form to acquire my next trophy called Fly Swatter. And you get this trophy for shooting at Margarite, knocking her back from attacking you. When you do enough damage, she thrashes around on the ground like a child throwing a tantrum. It's so funny. And I'm once again back to the videotapes to earn another trophy, and it's called Out Before Dessert. And I got this trophy by completing the videotape Happy Birthday in under 5 minutes. And now for probably the most confusing trophy earned in this game. That's a meatball. And I say it's confusing because how you have to get this trophy is by attaching a remote bomb to a molded while they are on top of you, just so you can explode them with it. And we're back to the antique coins once again with this next trophy, Mad Pelicans. And this is for picking up all 33 coins in Madhouse difficulty. And it wasn't long after unlocking that trophy, I did get another one called First Place at the Science Fair. And to earn this trophy, you have to craft strong first aid medicine in enhanced handgun ammo, burner fuel, psychostimulants, flame rounds and neuro rounds in one playthrough. And now for the final time, I took out the hardcore granny. And with that granny dealt with, I got my other trophy, Who's Your Daddy Now? And it's for completing the game on hardcore mode. And with that trophy got, I gained the platinum trophy for Resident Evil 7. And the rating I'd give this game is a 6 out of 10, just because of that hardcore fight with Margarite. It's going to give you the most trouble in this game, so be prepared. So with me getting the platinum and giving it the rating, this is the end of the video. I hope you all enjoyed. I hope to see you in the next one. Have a great day and goodbye.